everybody, how are you all? Hope you are well. So, first in the house tonight is Gemma. Hello, Gemma. Hello, Sue. Hello, Kim. Lovely to have you all join. So, as I say, always say, whether you're with me live, I know you can't always get to the live, whether you're with me on the replay watching, do pop me a thumbs up, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, and do pop me a note in the comments so you know I know you were present with me as well. Would love to know, do you like the 5-minute countdown so that you know when I'm going to be going live, or would you just prefer the 30-second countdown and me going straight into it? We'd love your feedback. It's entirely sort of up to you, but it'd be nice to find out what your preferences are on that. Now, tonight, we are going to do something we have done a little while back, but it was a long time ago. And it's a really nice, cheerful project. It's quite quick. And I must admit, when I first started this project, when I first did it, these slider clasps were something I had searched for forever and I could never find them. And they are so lovely because they've got a silicone inside that they just glide up. And we'll go on the overhead in a second. So if you miss the picture, you'll be able to see. Hello, Jan. Hello, Francis. 30 seconds. Yeah, great to have your feedback. Why are you sorry, Kim? Right, let's go on the overhead. Let's have a quick look. Now, these are the projects, and they are using these connectors, which some of you may be familiar with using with bead embroidery, because they are fabulous for bead embroidery. Hello, Positive Angel. Lovely to have you join. Now, I am on YouTube and Facebook today. Random picture. I didn't see a random picture. Hello, Carrie. Thank you for joining. Let me just get in a little bit closer. Hello, Carol. Right, let's get in a wee bit closer. It's Emma. Hello, Emma. See, I'm not used to all your different names on YouTube, but I'll get used to it after a while. And Gemma likes the 5 minutes. It gives me time to occupy the children. Kim, that's good. No, we didn't see that. Thank you, Gemma. The question was, France, something we spoke about earlier was about whether or not people like the 5-minute countdown or 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Missed the question. Kim's answer, 30 seconds. The mind is boggling. So there you go. 30-minute countdown, not 30 minutes, 5 minutes or 30 seconds. I used to do 10. It was just to give you a chance to sort of know that I'm live and find the station. So let me know. Anyway, this little project is using the connectors. They're called lots of different things. They're known as sew-on embellishments. They're rhinestone multi-strand, because you can build them into sort of multi-strand projects. These have got 4 holes at the back, so they're really easy to stitch, but we're only using 2 of the holes. And we're using some eyepins, some chain, and the slider clasp. So the way they work is you would pop that on your wrist and you would just slide that on like so. You can obviously have it as short as you want, but there's some little silicone, sort of a little bit of silicone inside. So there we go. Okie dokie. Shall I leave one of those on there? So if you're coming late, you know what we're doing. There are lots and lots of different colours in these. I've got red, I've got black, I've got purple, sapphire blue, salmon pink, clear, you name it, we've got it. So Jan says either works for you. Brilliant. Hello, Trisha. Loving the slider clasp. I really do too. like I said, search for ages. Emma said, for some reason, I can't see it on Facebook. It could be, Emma, that we now broadcast in the Facebook page, not the Facebook group, because the new streaming platform I'm working from will not let me broadcast from the group. So that might be why you can't find it. Now, I am going to be using one of these absolutely gorgeous bead strands that our lovely Frances put together. She designed this, and I thought that really worked quite nicely with this salmony pink coloured one. So I'm going to use that. I've got my short eye pins, I've got my slider clasp, I've got my chain. I've also got some of the acrylic, metallized acrylic beads as well. So let's chop this up. I think some of the tiniest beads are possibly too small to go on the eye pins, but we can keep those for separate projects. Let's just bring that forward. So what are you all up to? What projects are you all up to at the moment? Can't believe we are on the 20th of February already. It's gone so quickly this month. What I might do as well is I might combine a few colours. So if you've not come across eye pins before, they've got a loop already formed, one end, and then you form the loop the other end. So we're kind of wanting I want the beads, salmony pink beads, to match in. Now these are the 3x4mm crystal rondelles and the 4mm baked glass beads. Ah, that's good. So Emma found us on Facebook. Brilliant. Was it because we're on the page now? So we're going to turn at a right angle, like so. And we are going to use our looping pliers, make sure it sits flush, hold in your non-dominant hand and turn that back. Now Kim is still doing a super duo necklace but haven't had time to do it today. It's like that sometimes, isn't it, Kim? Is you just don't, we've got it in our minds to do something. Now I've glued a beautiful labradorite cabochon already. I've had it for a few days actually. I was going to do it. Oh, sorry. These do fit, these tiny wee ones. Oh, sorry. I digress. Isn't it funny that sparkly things are just like, oh, can't even remember what I was talking about now. It's totally gone. Totally gone. I was taken aback by bead sparkles. Right. Bear with. Maybe somebody can remind me what the heck I was on about. What was I on about? It can't have been very interesting. Oh, yes. I know what I was talking about. The fact that I'd glued on one of my labradorite cabochons. And I did it ready to take with me when I went up to Redditch on Monday. And I've not had any spare time to sit and do it. Got all the components and everything. Right. Oh, that is right. Hello, Nikki. Labradorite. Yes, That's it. Thank you, ladies. My glue on. Yeah. When I was looking at it, I was thinking, well, I know it's glued on. Oh, honestly, I'm just losing my marbles tonight. Losing the plot. I'd asked you to remind me. Right. Let's turn that at a right angle. Let's loop that back. So in case we've got anybody that's new, you want to be about 1/2 centimetre down from the end. Make sure it's flush. Hold it in your non-dominant hand. And as you get towards the end, is just loop that round. Now, Sue is doing another super duo necklace. Lovely. I think we need to get some of the super duos going again. Francis and I were doing a bit of planning earlier on, weren't we, Francis? We were doing some forward planning for tutorials and thinking about different projects to do. And funnily enough, some of the super duos popped up in there as well with bead embroidery. Ah, bless you, Nikki. She had 2 parcels arrive today, but no energy to open them. That's not good. I'm rather liking the delicate elements of these. What have I done with those? Right. And you don't need that much. So if we line this up, I've only got 3 eye pins. 1. Do you know what? I think I only need 2 at this length. Oh, Carol says the same. She can't find me on Facebook. Carol, I'm on the Facebook page. I don't broadcast in the group anymore. That could be why you can't find me. So sorry about that. Right, let's take that off. Don't need that one. Now, this is quite a quick project, providing you can actually, unlike me, decide what colours you're going to do. So Carrie's plan for tomorrow is making some memory wire bracelets. Oh, brilliant. Because for those of you that missed it, we did a tutorial on memory wire. You can find that very, very easily on YouTube. I think before we finish today, I'll try and do a little recap so that I can show you where you find everything. And obviously, the more views I get on YouTube, I think it's going to take me absolutely forever before I actually get opportunity to earn anything on YouTube. But, you know, you got to be in it to win it, as they say. But yeah, the more the merrier on that. But I do think that's probably about the same length. 1, 2. So we've got a lot of love for the memory wire bracelets. Jan's going to be doing memory wire as well. Trisha found us on a Facebook group page. On the right hand side was a bit saying you were live. That's good. Now, let me know sort of how I can help you locate it. The best way to do it is when I put the post up at the beginning of the week is to go on the event if you're on Facebook as going. Obviously YouTube, playing tiddlywinks here. If you go onto YouTube Beads by Vachil, it should show you that I'm live. But obviously because it's just slightly different to normal, it's just taking a bit of getting used to, isn't it? So Emma is doing macrame bracelets. Her next thing is with macrame bracelets and alphabet beads. France is really excited about our future tutorials, ideas and tutorials. Watch this space, ladies. It's looking good. Lots of different types of projects and all sorts of ideas for you to try. We were amazed, really, weren't we, Francis, the fact that I was trying to get organised so that I can plan ahead, especially now that I'm doing a Wednesday tutorial. So for those of you that may have missed it, I do a live bead along that's broadcast on both platforms on a Wednesday, where I pick out some items from the website and I do an organic make, so I don't prepare, I just make along, and you're invited to make your own bits and pieces, or copy the project I'm doing. And my brain is absolutely fuddled. I put it down to having early nights this week. Early morning starts this week. Honestly, my brain is fuddled. Yes, so projects. So we had a look, didn't we, Francis, on stuff that I've made. And I've got so much that I've made that I've not even launched or shared with you all. So, yeah. So I think we've actually got more than we thought. Yes, it is. It is. Hello, Sally. Hope you're well. Let's just zoom in a wee bit more, shall we? And apologies about my brain fog tonight. So with this connector, let's just take that off and show you. So I've added a silver bead. I've pushed it through two of the corresponding holes at the back. Now you might think, well, actually, if it turns over, are you going to just see the silver part? Well, funnily enough, with these slider clasps, where you tighten it up, it actually sits really nicely on your wrist. And I'm going to show you a little top tip that Francis thought about earlier on with the chain. If I forget, Francis, will you please remind me? We spoke about the jump rings on the chain, and I think you'll know what I mean. Right, so we're going to loop that back. Just double check with all of these that you've closed all the holes up okay. And what you might want to do, well, not might want to do, what you'd want to do as well is line out all of the eye pins up. So you want them all facing the same direction, so they're flat. So just go over all of your pieces and do that. And that's really so that it will sit flat with everything. Now, if you're not happy about how they sit, the best way to get over that is to add a little jump ring in between. Right, so that's our four. We're just going to join those up together. So I've got two of those, oh, would help if you're in view, wouldn't it? Two of those, two of those. These bead strands are available in the group thread. And honestly, I really don't think sometimes the pictures do the beads much justice. Unfortunately, that's just one of those things with cameras, is they don't always, and this is one of those bead strands that just doesn't do it any justice on the pictures. And just a reminder that next week we have our Wednesday bead along midday. And Thursday we don't have a tutorial, but we have a live auction with Mom and I am due a delivery any time. I do hope it arrives in time. I'm sure it will. We've got lots of goodies. I've also got some cup chain coming as well. That's not necessarily for the auction, but it's to do some more projects. Right, so that's where we're at the moment. So that's the little bit that goes here at the front of your wrist. Yeah, you see what I mean, don't you, Jan? The photos don't quite do the beads justice. The ones I received recently are gorgeous. I think I'm wearing them actually, Jan. Not your beads, of course, but similar ones, the shell pearls. They don't do it any justice. And no matter how much sort of editing, you've got to be really careful with editing colours of the beads, because when I edit them, it's with a view to actually getting the right colour of the beads, because sometimes they're lighter in the photograph. But you do need to be careful when you're photoshopping it, because you don't want any surprises, do you, when you get it in the post. Now let's measure how much we're actually adding in. Now I'm adding in about 2.5 inches of chain either side, so not a lot. Yes, aren't the shell pearls beautiful? I just love them. Right, so that's our little bit of chain. That's not right. It's definitely more than 2.5 inches. Is it? No, it's not. It is two. Is it? Bear with me. I told you I was having a moment tonight. It's more than 2.5 inches. No, it's not. Maybe one side's bigger than the other. Please bear with me while I have a moment. A moment of many moments tonight. No, it's not. It's 3 inches. I thought it looked really short. Right, so it's 3 inches either side. I thought that's a really short. Oh yes, that's so true. Francis and I packaged up loads of bead strands today that we're going to bring to the beading social. And that way you can see what they look like. And Francis has done an amazing job and designs on them. You know, we're really very spoiled for choice with Francis's designs. Very spoiled. So let's open up that eye pin. Let's place that on the eye pin on one side, close that up, and then go the other side. Close that up. Now, let's add the stopper first, because we won't get the head pins through. Now, this is what I recommend that you do to get your chain through, is to actually get some very fine wire, 0.25, and I'm going to pop it through each of the links. Thank you, Francis. Jump rings, yes. And then I'm going to pull that through. This is quite a crucial part, because otherwise you'll be there forever because it's tight, okay? So I've got that here, that little bit of fine wire. I've added it on the links and we're pulling that up. Now, Francis has just reminded me, jump rings. Now, on Jewelry Maker, I think they were sterling silver, but what they were selling the other month was this element from here to here. So they had something like 4 with a jump ring attached on the side. And as Francis and I were discussing earlier, Francis was saying, well, you know, we could sell them in components where all you need to do, you've got it all ready and it's all, you just literally attach it to the eye pin element. So there's a couple of things. I could sell them like that in future for you if you wanted. Or B, our other thoughts were, if you've got a craft store, you might want to have some chain pre-formed, maybe even a few of these options, or just get them to choose the beads and you just make these elements, and then you've got a quick make that these are already made up and you pop them on there. Does that make sense? So effectively you can prepare them and they're really, really quick. And that would literally just be a little jump ring there. Maybe, because we should have time to do another one, I'll do that on the next one. But I think personally it really finishes it off if you have a nice little head pin. I've got ball head pin here that's on the bottom of both chains. The other good thing about that is that it doesn't risk your chain going straight through this little piece here. You've got an extra buffer, so to speak. I'm just trying to thread this in the hole. Right, there we go. So I've got a very tiny crystal. Now, Nikki is asking, do I photo the beads in a light box? I don't, Nikki. Years ago, I used to. But to be honest with you, I get better effects without the light box. I think mobile phones have got a really posh, snazzy camera I spent hundreds of pounds on years ago. Probably isn't very up to date now. However, it's really hard to beat the good old phones. And there's so many different apps. I use Canva as well. I use the paid for Canva app, which is amazing, absolutely amazing for photographs. The other thing, if any of you are selling in Folksy or Etsy or whatever, and you're looking for a free app for your photos, I've got one on my phone that's called Snapseed. And that is another free platform, and it is brilliant because you can enhance the light on it. You've got different effects on there. So try it out, but it's free, totally free. And I do use that sometimes as well if I can't quite get the effects that I want from the current platforms. Right, let me try this on and show you. Bear with. And pop that there like so. And what I love about these is you can get a really nice tight or loose pull, whatever you prefer. So isn't that really pretty, those in there? So I think that really picks out the different colours in that, sort of a coral and a rustic colour. Now let's have a look at doing another one. I will put the bead strands up a little bit later on. Now, I put these bead strands up earlier, and I thought those would go so nicely with either the champagne coloured one or the red one. That's the red one. But I'm going to do, whilst this is a one-off bead strand, Frances has done some others that's got a connector in the middle. So I'm going to actually use these beads, these red ones. I'm not going to need that many of them anyway. These are again the baked coloured beads. So what should we do? I think we'll make a totally red one. So we've got two different coloured reds. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm glad you're liking it. It's really, and it's not difficult, is it? It's really very, very easy. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's have some of these. So let's start off with our centerpiece first of all. Now there's no reason why, perhaps if you've got longer eye pins, or you can make your own eye pins using 0.8mm wire, that you couldn't maybe have 3 of the connectors in a row. You know, you could have more. So it's more of a feature, it's just food for thought. Trim a bit of that off. Sorry, my mat's so messy. Turn that at a right angle. Turn it back. And we also want those to match the same direction as well. Now, I don't know how many of you remember, but we actually use these with crimping chain as well. I did a tutorial on that a while back. As a lariat, that was really nice, and that was also using one of the slider clasps as well. Now I have got different size slider clasps, so I do need to just double check with that, but let me know if you want a refresher on that particular one, and for me to do that for you, another tutorial. But a bit of homework, I'm looking for some ideas, is for my Thursday, not my Thursday, sorry, for my Wednesday bead along at midday, if any of you have a spare few minutes and you are able to hop onto my website, choose some colour coordinated beads and some different findings, maybe some different findings or different connectors, just something that you look at, or glue ends, and you think, do you know what, I've often looked at that but I haven't got a clue what to do with it. There's a colour, that's what I'd like to do, is what will you do with that? So screenshot them or send me the links, and I will look at including those materials in our Wednesday bead along, and that would be really helpful, and I could maybe have it as your pick. I know Frances said she'd do that for me, so we'll have Frances's picks, but if anybody else would like to do that, we'll put your name on it as your pick of the week, and I will make something with your picks of the week. And don't forget, obviously, you know, I am building up my website, because if anything ever happens on Facebook, because it does crash sometimes, I want to have a backup where not only can you reach me there, but if there's things, because on Facebook, on our Facebook group, we do turn over quite a lot of stock that maybe you see in the thread one week, but you've lost it the following week and you don't know where to find it. So I'm trying to get everything back, everything on the website. So for example, you think, okay, what seed beads have you got in stock at the moment? Go and have a look. What connectors have I got in stock? Have a look. Go on the website. You don't have to order from there. I know some of you do a screenshot and you say, do you know what, please add this to my basket with my orders on Facebook. So, you know, it's a resource to use. Oh, brilliant. Thank you. Carrie says, love that idea. Love that idea. Jan will have a look. There's a lot to learn. Fantastic. That's what I need, because I think we all get into, particularly when you've been doing it for a while, you become a little bit blinkered and blah. blinkered and maybe a little bit blasé about, oh, everybody will know how to do that. But perhaps you don't. Kim will do. Brilliant. Sue will have a look. Emma, ribbon ends, the little ones that you put on pendants. Brilliant. Emma, go and have a look. If you get a moment, have a look at my website. And if you look and you think, do you know what? I've always wanted to know what to do with those. Fortunately, if they are on my website, I will know what to do with them. Yeah, just screenshot it on your phone or whatever, or just send me the link. Now, I'm just wondering, I think I'm going to go crystals first. Crystals first. And then if it works, if it kicks off in the sense of, that sounds awful, doesn't it? But if it kicks off well, in the sense that you actually quite like me taking your pick of the week, then we can make a regular thing of it. And it's a little bit more interactive that way. So do let me know. But it's ever so lovely seeing, it build up on a Wednesday. And it's nice to actually do a different time as well. But don't forget, if you are busy, then you can just hop onto YouTube and have a look. And the nice thing is for me is I don't have to edit the videos. They used to take me ages why they weren't always on there. Right, okay, so let's just hold that up, shall we? That's our red. There we go. So these are baked glass beads. They're 8mm. These are, I'm not sure if those are 5x6mm, but there are strands. I'll put the strands on afterwards, and they're all made up. And you can get a few bracelets out of them. So let's make the bracelet element up on its own, and I'll show you what I meant about making these up beforehand. But it's just a little way of, you could even just sell them as they are. I'm glad you're liking these bracelets. They're really quite pretty, and what I love as well is the fact that they're pretty stable. I mean, I've still got the one on my wrist and the slack hasn't come off it at all. But just a top tip is that when you're threading on the little slider clasp, remember to thread on the wire onto each link, because I tell you now, you'll be there forever and a day. It's something that very simple that means the difference of whether or not you're getting it on to the slider. So you've got your wire on there, let's pull it through like so. And Francis saying, I love the company on the Wednesday. If I'm home alone, it's a real treat. Oh, that's really nice. And I feel like you're all in a room with me. It's really nice, really nice. These bracelets are really pretty. I kept thinking what to wear on the same wrist as my watch. There you go. And you know what? The connector sits really nicely as well. Me too, says Jan. Really enjoy it. That's so nice to hear. And if you've got any beady friends that you think would really enjoy coming to join us, perhaps you could spread the word and just share it onto your separate pages as well. Now, this is where I'm at a bit of a dilemma, is that I wish I'd have kept the small ones for the bit at the end. So I'm going to just go and grab, should I go and grab another one? Or should we let's just pretend, shall we? Let's pretend these were red ones. Oh, I'm not going to like it though. It's going to bug me. Bear with, have a chat amongst yourselves. And I'm going to grab some little red crystals because I want it to look nice on the end. I hadn't really thought about that, had I? Oh, I've got some. I just thought the others were slight knuckle dusters. You know what I mean? You don't want to knock yourself out on the ends, do you? This is why it might come in, where it might come in handy to have some short head pins. I should have used the short stainless steel ones. Just out of interest, do we have any watchers on YouTube tonight? It's gone ever so quiet on the YouTube front, but I do know that people watch afterwards because, I mean, one of them is up to 300 and something views from a few weeks ago, which I was really pleased with. And I've tried to put photos on there that sort of stand out as well, so that people can see at a glance exactly what it is that they'll be learning. Right, so let's pop these on the end. Be like playing clackers with the large beads on the end, wouldn't it just? And I just wonder if we could get these sliders in sterling silver. Wouldn't that be nice? Because obviously the chain you'll get. Right, now, where's my little jump rings? Here are my, because you don't want, you know, huge jump rings, do you? Because otherwise all you'll see is jump ring and none of the bracelet. Right, I'm making all right. Normally I'd have flat nose in the left. Right. So that's one jump ring. I think these are 3mm inner diameter, 4mm outer diameter, and I've got all of these in stock. Right, so this is what it would look like without, and that's what I meant about, you know, you could have those pinned up. Just thought of something. Wouldn't that be so pretty? I've just thought of something. We could do another tutorial out of this with this chain. See, when you put these things together, some little ideas sprig again is, how about this is a lariat necklace where you've got these little beads, or maybe larger beads, on the bottom, and you've got a little bit of chain and eye pins in between for a necklace. Wouldn't that be so nice? But that was my thought. You could always sell it separately, so people can just literally open the jump ring on and add it on to what they've got. And then what I would do with this is add this on. Let me know if you want any ideas. Obviously on Thursday we have got our auction next week, but if you want me to extend these ideas and we maybe do a lariat necklace with this chain and with the slider clasps, do let me know. And I think I'm going to have to order some more of these slider beads, because I don't think they'll be in stock for very long, because they're going super quick. Isn't that so pretty? Now look at my bracelet. That hasn't spun over at all. Still there. Still in place. And the good thing with these as well is the fact that they're going to fit so many different wrist sizes. There's not really any wrist size that it wouldn't fit, is there? So this is the red. Oh, I'm liking the red too. I'm liking the salmon and the rustic colours with it. You could even okay, just putting it out there, is you could even have a pair of chain drop earrings to match. So forget the slider bit, but you could have your earrings to match, like so. There you go. So that was really quick, wasn't it? It's not a long project to do. I think you would quite easily make a number of those within an hour. And the more you do, the quicker it gets. So there you go. That's the red one. Really beautiful and vibrant. Obviously, you can have that as long or as short as you want, but it feels really nice. You could always as well have that as a fastening at the back. So say, for example, you have got a necklace, you know, you could even have a tiger tail with a bit of the chain at the back. Providing it goes over your head, you can then tighten it on your neck. Great for someone that perhaps struggles with clasps. Let's pop this one on and show you. Also, the pink one I've got, I'll show you the sample, was using gemstone chips. I think the lovely thing with this is it's really super flexible with what colours, what beads, size, everything. Anything goes with this. Let me show you the pink one. I don't know if you can see. Whoops, I picked that red one up at the same time. Is you've got that one's a salmon pink and that one is the pink. One's peachy and one's pink. And this one I haven't actually got the little drops on the bottom. And I would be frightened that when I'm out and about, it's going to come, the slide is going to come off the chain. So I'd be inclined to pop those on. So that's the pink one with rose quartz. And let me show you the other one. But do you know what? I've used very little beads. And this chain, I think it's 130 or 140 a metre. So bearing in mind that you are only using 6 inches of chain per bracelet. So I think there's 39 inches of chain per metre. So what is that? 6 sixes are 36. So you get 6 bracelets out of this. And the blue, this is like a topaz blue. And they are literally, what are they, 50p for 2 of these. So, you know, for a very small price, you could get yourself really stacked up. And also, I know some of you have mentioned that you've got craft fairs coming up. Now, if you are tight on time, you're working away, rather than doing loads of intricate designs, this is only just something from previous, is how many of us have spent hours and hours with bead weaving, bead embroidery? Don't get me wrong, it's my favourite. I love to make it, but it takes a long time to fill your stall that way. Whereas have some of those special pieces that you make sure you charge for your time and your materials, but have some of the pieces like this that are super quick, that fill up your stall, that you can afford to keep at maybe under £10, but you're still making a good profit because it doesn't take you long and it doesn't take a lot of beads. So do let me know what you think. Which was your favourite colour? Go and have a look on the Facebook group. The connectors are all on the website as well. I'm a wee bit early tonight, so I'm going to love you and leave you. And hope you've enjoyed it. I will see you all for a very quick update on Tuesday. And then the bead along Wednesday and our auction on Thursday. It feels a bit early to say have a good weekend, but we are nearly there, aren't we? Have a good weekend, and I'll see you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.